ॐ वक्रतुण्डमहाकाय सूर्यकोटिसमप्रभ निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं भरते कामरूपिणी विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा ईश्वरो गुरवे सर्वलोकानां विषजे भवरोगिणां निधये सर्वविद्यानां दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। नारायणं पद्मभुवं वसिष्ठं शक्तिं च तत्पुत्रपराशरं च व्यासं शुकं गौडपदं महान्तं गोविन्दयोगीन्द्रमथास्य शिष्यम् श्रीशङ्कराचार्यमथास्य पद्मपादं च हस्तामलकं च शिष्यम् तं तोटकं वार्तिककारमन्यान् अस्मद्गुरून् सन्ततमानतोऽस्मि। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयम् नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्। अपारकरुणा सिन्धुं ज्ञानदं शान्तरूपिणम् श्रीचन्द्रशेखरगुरुं प्रणमामि मुदान्वहम्। यत्कृपालेशमात्रेण पुमान् पूर्णः प्रजायते तं वन्दे ब्रह्मविद्धुर्यं सद्गुरुं चन्द्रशेखरम्। साक्षात्कृतं दयानन्दं परमार्थस्वरूपिणम् तत्त्वज्ञानप्रशास्तारं प्रणतोऽस्मि परं पदम्। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। सर्ववेदान्तसिद्धान्तगोचरं तमगोचरम्
सर्ववेदान्तसिद्धान्तगोचरं तमगोचरम्
गोविन्दं परमानन्दं सद्गुरुं प्रणतोऽस्म्यहम्।
गोविन्दं परमानन्दं सद्गुरुं प्रणतोऽस्म्यहम्।
जन्तूनां नरजन्मदुर्लभमतः पुंस्त्वं ततो विप्रता
जन्तूनां नरजन्मदुर्लभमतः पुंस्त्वं ततो विप्रता।
तस्माद्वैदिकधर्ममार्गपरथा विद्वत्त्वमस्मात् परम्
तस्मात्
तस्मात्
वैदिकधर्ममार्गपरतः
वैदिकधर्ममार्गपरता
विद्वत्त्वमस्मात् परम्
विद्वत्त्वमस्मात् परम्
आत्मानात्मविवेचनं स्वनुभवो ब्रह्मात्मना संस्थितिः
आत्मानात्मविवेचनं
विवेचनं
स्वनुभवो
स्वनुभवो
आत्मना
ब्रह्मात्मना
संस्थितिः
संस्थितिः
मुक्तेर्नो शतजन्मकोटिसुकृतैः पुण्यैर्विना लभ्यते
मुक्तिर्नो
मुक्तिर्नो
शतजन्मकोटिसुकृतैः
शतजन्मकोटिसुकृतैः पुण्यैः विना
पुण्यैर्विना
लभ्यते।
लभ्यते।
मनुष्य जन्म प्रशंसा स्तुति नरजन्म दुर्लभम जंतूनां मध्ये नरजन्म दुर्लभम इति आरभ्य शतकोटि जन्म सुकृतैः पुण्यैः विना न लभ्यते मुक्तिः इति पर्यन्तम् यत् आचार्येण उक्तं सोपानरूपेण द फॉर्म ऑफ स्टेप्स नरजन्म दुर्लभम ततः पुंस्त्वं ततः विप्रता ततः वैदिक धर्म मार्ग परता ततः विद्वत्वं तस्मात् परः परम विवेचनम् आत्मा अनात्म विवेचनम् ततः स्वनुभवः ब्रह्मात्मना संस्थिति इति सोपानरूपेण उक्तम् एषः श्लोकः समस्त ग्रंथ सार संग्रह रूपेण वर्तते इति आचार्यः श्री चंद्रशेखर भारतीतमः स्वामिना उक्तमस्ति यथा गीतायाम् अस्ति शोच्यान् अन्वशोचसं तद्वत् इति आचार्यस्य व्याख्यानम् आरभ्यते. We are reading the Vyakyanam of Chandrasekhar Bharati Tirtha Swami. We have seen the meaning of this shloka before. So, reading the Vyakyanam helps us to understand the shloka better. That is one thing. Second thing, it is a form of mananam. Acharya himself raises question and answers. The form of Purva Pakshi raises questions and clarifies so that we get clarity. Samshaya Ragita Jnanam. Shravanam also and Mananam also. And there are some places where you will see Nididhyasanam also. Vivekachudamani is a text where we find some beautiful shlokas. It's good to memorize, in fact. Like Gita, how it is memorized similarly here. This Grantha also. There are some beautiful shlokas good to memorize and some shlokas which are good for Nididhyasanam. Fine. Now, we have to complete this shloka. We are at the end of this commentary, Vyakyanam. Sharira Vetiraktaha Atma Asti. Atma, which is distinct from the Shariram, it is there. Purva Mimamsa as well as Uttara Mimamsa accept. Shastra Vivahare Nidanam Astikyam iti. Iti Jantunam Narajanma Durlabham Suchitam Acharyena. Sharira Vetiraktaha Atma Asti. Atma is there distinct from the Shariram it survives after death. That Atma should be known, should be heard, should be meditated upon, reflected upon, contemplated upon. Shariram cannot be Atma. If Shariram is the Atma, then we don't need Shastram. All these things were discussed. This is number one. And Shariram also keeps in keeping with the karma pala of the jiva. Ishvaraha karma nirapeshaha san sharira nirmanam na karoti. Karmanusaram eva. That Acharya gives a proof from Dharma Sutra. Therefore, Ishvaraha asti. Karma is jadam. Karma is jadam. There must be karma pala datta Ishvaraha. So accepting Ishvara, accepting Shastram as the pramanam, that is astikyam. Then only the person engage in the study as well as in following the injunctions of the Shastra. That janma is durlabham. That is Suchitam Acharyena. Number two. Then number three, Pumstvam. Why Pumstvam is important? That he said. Then Acharya did not say Dvijatva. He said Viprata. Viprata is knowledge of the Shastram. Vedas and Shastrams in general. Viprata is important. Who can be a Viprata? Who can dedicate their whole time? They can only be a Viprata. Therefore, naturally, Brahmanaha iti Acharya Suchitam. Because other Varnas, they have got their own Sadharma. So therefore, Yadyapi Traivarnikaha Kshatriya Brahmana Vaishyaha. Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya and Kshatriya also. They are also endowed with the Upanayanam, therefore they have the eligibility to study Shastram. Yadyapi, into the reason is given. Kshatriya is Yadyapi Traivarnikanam Veda Adhikara Sattvayapi Kshatriya Vaishyayoho Raja Paripalana Krishyadinam. Therefore, Chitta Kshepa Etubhutanam Bhagya Vyaparanam Sattvat Atma Vicharaha Durgataha. They cannot do Atma Vichara because of their duty. Duty demands full attention. Therefore, Brahmana iti. Then the next point is the Vaidika Dharma Marga Parata. Important point Acharya here. Acharya discusses. The commentator, Chandrasekhar Bharati Swamigal, he discusses. Acharya says Vaidika Dharma Marga Parata. Natu Vaidika Karma Marga Parata. Vaidika Karma, he could have used. Why he has not used Karma? If you say Karma, then all the Karmata Purva Pakshi will be very happy. Because there is emphasis on Karma. And Purva Mimamsa says this Dharma is Chodana, Lakshana, Rupaha Dharma. That is Dharma, Dharma se Lakshanam. Amna yase Kriya Tattva, Anarthakya Matadartana. The entire Veda has Tatparyam only in Karma. Therefore, Karma Marga Parata means they will be happy. Yes. So, Karma is, of course, Karma is included in Dharma, but the word Dharma has got a broader meaning. The word Dharma has so many meanings. Acharya gives the one meaning, Dharati iti dharmaha, Dhriyate anena iti dharmaha, iti Vyutpatya, Jagat Pratishta Hetutvam Suchitam. The Jagat is sustained by Dharma. So Dharma is a very comprehensive term. It includes Dharma, it includes Karma and some more also. So that by which the entire Jagat is sustained, by what? The Sat, that is Dharma. Sattvam, Tatatvam, that is Dharma. Ishvaraha, Brahma. And Dharma can also means values, value systems. One must have. It's not just by doing. If it is only by doing, then if it is only karma, then what the Acharya wants to convey, that karma shabda cannot convey. Vivekshita artha alabhat, he said. Therefore, Vaidika karma marga parta iti anuktva, having not said Vaidika karma marga parta, is it dharma marga parta? Because karma marga parta, when you say, then it is only karma, doing karma only, then jnanam has no place. Vedanta has got no place then. So therefore, and Karmata says that the karma is sukha sadhanam, dukkha nivarti sadhanam. Therefore, by that, sarva lokaha, sarvada sukhi bhavati iti, etc. Therefore, they say, and also they say, Purva Mimamsa, dharma lakshana means chodana lakshana dharmaha iti. Chodana lakshana dharmaha is, dharma is in the form of doing. The chodana lakshana dharmaha, Shastra commands to do in the form of injunctions. So, chodana lakshana dharmaha. So, therefore, chodana lakshana dharmaha, meaning what it is, the dharma in the form of commandments of the Vedas. Dharma in the form of injunctions. It means you have to do it. That is the definition of dharma, the first sutra. The second sutra, the first chapter, first section. First sutra is atato dharma jignasa. They do jignasa, inquiry into dharma, what dharma is. So therefore, if you say, this is what the definition of dharma, and then, therefore, dharma meaning karma is one aspect, but dharma includes more. Therefore, instead of using karma marga parata, dharma marga parata, iti acharya uses. And dharma is of two types. And dharma anushtanam is important. Following, not just knowing, it has to be anushtanam. Therefore, Vaidika dharma parata anushtana rupena. Dharma anushtanam. And Acharya here discussed an important point. Smritikaraha, that is those who wrote Smriti, that is Veda Vyatiriktaha. Veda Vyatiriktaha Anya Shastram Pramanam Nabhavati. But out Smritikaraha, Smritikartaraha, how do they know this dharma which is Atindriya Vishya, which cannot be known other than Veda? By dharma anushtanam eva. Therefore, what the knowledge of dharma is very important. They follow the dharma, therefore they follow dharma is Atindriya Vishyam. So therefore, Smritikaraha Atindriyam dharmam katam vyajananiti prishtva yogaja samartyaditi che tat samartyam taihi katam sampaditam dharma anushthanena then katam dharma jnataha iti prichet yo brahmanam vidadati purvam yo vivedancha praginoti tasmai iti. The dharma was, the form of the Veda was handed over by the Lord to Brahmaji. Brahmaji is the one who was first created, and Brahmaji created the Jagat. Then this dharma is of two types. In Gita, in fact, Acharya begins this Adhyasa Bhashya and Gita Bhashya are two important Bhashyas. Acharya in the Gita, he begins the Bhashyam by saying, Dvividaha Vedokta Dharmaha iti. So it is made very clear, Vedokta Dharma is of two types. Karmata says, Mimamsaka says it is only one Pravritti Lakshanaha. But we don't say like that. We say Dharma is, Vedokta Dharma is of two types. Pravritti Lakshanaha Dharmaha, Nivritti Lakshanaha Dharmaha. Pravritti Lakshanaha Dharmaha is Dharma in the form of engaging in action. And Nivritti Lakshanaha Dharmaha is refraining from karma actions. So Mimamsakas, what they say, Nitya Sukha Avapto Karma Kartavyam, that is Param Sadhana Miti. That we don't accept. Then what is the Parama Purushartha Sadhane Kim Apekshate iti Prichet Jnanam. Therefore, Parama Purushartha Sadhani Bhuta Brahma Sakshatkara Sadhana Vedanta Vichara Hetutvena Sansara Rupa Nivritti Dharmasya. So Nivritti Dharma, that is Jnanam Apekshate, that is only by Veda Anta. Therefore, now Acharya comes to Vedanta. Therefore, that Vedanta is Suchitam. For that, Dharma Anushtanam, Vedika Dharma Anushtanam is important. Without Vedika Dharma Anushtanam, Yogyata for Jnanam, Yogyata for Vedanta is not possible. So that is why Acharya said the Vedika Dharma Anushtanam, Vedika Dharma Marga Parata, not Vedika Dharma Jnana Parata, not Vedika Karma Marga Parata. Both are not said. Not knowledge of Dharma, not knowledge of Karma. It is Anushtana Parata. Then only Yogyata Siddhihi, Jnana Yogyata Siddhihi. Therefore, Nivritti Lakshana Dharmaha. So, Pravritti Lakshana Dharmaha leads to Nivritti Lakshana Dharmaha. Karmatas, Karma Mimamsakas, they stop with Pravritti Lakshana Dharma. Whereas, we say Pravritti Lakshana Dharma leads to Nivritti Lakshana Dharma. You cannot keep on doing karma the whole life. Karma has got role to play, then the karma results in the form of yogita for jnanam. Therefore only pravritti lakshana dharmaha, nivritti lakshana dharmaha iti. And Acharya he quotes from Mahabhashya, Shanti Parva. Dau imamatha panthano yatra vedaha pratishtitaha pravritti lakshano dharmaha, nivritti lakshanaha, nivrittischa prakiritaha. Two types of margas. This is similar to Shloka in the Gita. Lokesmin dvividha nishta pura prokta maya naka jnana yogena sankyanam karma yogena yoginam. Sankyanam sannyasinam vishaye. That nishta is in the form of jnana yoga. Jnana yogena sankyanam. The Gitayam, that chapter, Bhagavan says, jnana yogena ittambhute tritiya. That is sannyasa, the life of sannyasa, sannyasinam is characterized, lifestyle of sannyasa, that is characterized by jnanam and the lifestyle of karma yoga. Nishta is nitaram siddhi lifestyle. Karma yogena yoginam. Yoginam krute karma yogaha. Sannyasinam krute jnana yogaha iti. Dvividaha nishta pravritti lakshanaha dharmaha nivritti lakshanaha cha iti puramaya prokta. Kena bhagavata. Bhagavan says in the Gita, I told before. And here he says, in Vedaha Pratishtitaha. Therefore, Bhagavan only spoke through the Veda. Vedas are the words of the Lord. So that is why it is a Pramanam. Cannot be obtained the knowledge what the Veda gives to any other means. Because it is Bhagavan himself gave. Who else can teach Rishis other than the Lord? That is why it is Pramanam. Now, up to this we have seen. Further now here, Acharya says, the last part of this Shloka, the Vyakyanam here. From here we have to read. तथा च ब्राह्मणेन उपनयन अनन्तरम्, after the upanayana samskara, after the upanayana samskara by the brahmana, what the acharya in the sopana panchakam, the sopana panchakam, it's a beautiful panchaka. It's a panchaka meaning a collection of 5 shlokas, panchaka. So in the panchak that, and there are steps. Each shloka has got 8 steps. So there are 40 steps, 40 ladders. The acharya has given the climbing of these are spiritual ladders to reach the goal. So the first shloka, another shloka, acharya quotes here. Vedo nityavadiyatam taduditam karma svanushthiyatam teneshasya vidiyatam apachitihi tam ye matistejyatam papogah paridhuyatam bhavasuke dosho nusandhiyatam atme cha vyavasiyatam nijagarghat turnam vinirgamyatam. Vedas should be studied every day. When does a person get the eligibility to study the Veda? After the Upanayana Samskara. Dvijaha Bhutva Sandhya Sandhya Upasane Adhikaram Prapya Upanayana Anantaram. The person gets the eligibility for studying the Veda. When should be studied? Not once in a while. At least once a Veda or one Shaka or once at least Upanishad. One can study. Here Adhiyatam should be learnt and recited. Only recitation is talked about. Chanting. Then taduditam karma sanushtiyatam. And whatever karma, uditam, bodhitam, that karma one has to follow. Then tena ishasya apachitihi. Apachiti means puja. Vidiyatam. Kamye matihi tejyatam. So Ishvara puja upasana. So karma should be done. Vedokta karma. Then upasana. Then kamye matihi tejyatam. That is kamya karma. One should give up doing kamya karma, the activities which are prompted by desires. Papauga pariduyatam. Papauga. One should refrain from doing papa pariduyatam. Bhavasuke doshaha nusandiyatam. One should do vichara of the inquiry into the sukham which are obtained in this loka. Which the sukham, the doshas. It is the sukham, the happiness what we derive, the loka sukham, vishaya sukham, they are not permanent. Anitya, agama painaha. So therefore it cannot give the fulfillment. It is not nitya niratishaya sukham. It is anitya sukham, and it binds a person also. And the sukham, it's not only sukham, it is dukkha mishuta sukham. So one must have the buddhi to see the dosha, the defects in the sukham, which is obtainable in the loka. Then atma ichcha vivasiyata. One must cultivate the desire for knowing atma oneself. So therefore, mumukshutvam. Atma ichcha is not one's desires. Desire for knowing atma. Atmanaha ichcha is not one's ichcha. The desire to know atma. Then nijagrighat, having gained that mumukshutvam, important quality the Adhikaritvam, which is mentioned in the Sadhana Chatushtaya Sampatti, Nijagrihat Vinirgamyata. May one leave the house. Leaving the house, where to go? Then he says Sangat Satsu. That is why Acharya quote Sangat Satsu Vidiyata. Satsanga. Satsangatve Nisangatvam. Nisangatve Nirmohatvam. Nirmohatve Nishchalatatvam. Nishchalatatve Jivan Mukti. Therefore, Sangha Satsu. Satsu Sangaha. Sadhu Sangaha. Vidiyata. Then Bhagavataha Bhakti Ki Dridadiyata. One must have the bhakti to the Lord. It must be steady, unflinching devotion to the Lord. Shantyadihi Parichiyatam. Chi Dhatu. Chi means accumulate, collect. Parichiyatam. One must accumulate, collect. One must cultivate. Shantyadihi. Shantyadi stands for Shamadama, Titiksha, Shraddha, Samadhanam, all everything. Amanittam, Adamittam, Ahimsa, Shanti Rajavam, the 20 spiritual values which are taught in the Gita, 13th chapter of the Gita, all the values, etc. Parichiyatam. To make oneself a Yogya Purusha for Jnana. Jnana, Yogyata, Siddhaye. Dridataram Karmashu Santyajyata. Very firmly. Ashu quickly. Karma should be given up. Iti Sopana Panchaka Upadeshta Ritya. In the line of teaching by the Sopana Panchaka. Ishvararpana Buddhya Karma Kurva Nena. By the one who does karma with the attitude of devotion, offering unto the Lord. That is what Karma Yoga is. Ishvararpana Buddhi, Buddhya Karma Kartavyam. Prasada Buddhya Karma Pala Prapti. Prasada Buddhya. Swikaraniyam. Karma Pala Ishvarena Dattam Karma Palam Swikaraniyam. Accepting, not resisting. Whatever comes, it is Ishvara Prasada. With a graceful attitude. That is why we look upon even the Prasada, what we get after Nivedyan. That is called Prasada, because it is given by the Lord. So accepting without any resistance, by that attitude, the mind gets purified. Therefore, Chitta Shuddhihi. Therefore, Chitta Kurvanena, by the one. Kurvanena referring to the person who does by that karma, by this karma, following Karma Yoga, Chitta Shodhakitva, having cleansed the mind, having purified the mind, having nullified to a the good extent, Ragadveshas, likes and dislikes, Vishayebhyaha Virajya, the Vishayas which are binding, Visinoti Badnati Ti Vishayaha. Therefore, Vishayas are those which binds, as we saw in the Panchadashi. Bhagavan did not create any Vishaya. Bhagavan created only Padartha. Ishakaryam Jiva Bhogyam, we saw in Panchadashi yesterday. Ishvara Sishtam Didam Dvaitam Jagat, that is not the cause for bondage. What Ishvara created, that being what it is, over that we create, we project. That is Jiva Sishta Dvaitam. That is Padartha, Ishvara Sishta Idam Dvaitam Jagat becomes Bhogya Padartha, Bhogya Vishaya for the Jiva. So therefore, Vishayaha, from that Vishayaha Virajya, Jiva has the attitude of looking upon what Bhagavan has created, and on that the attitude of this Bhogyatvam, that should be enjoyed. Yesterday we saw that given the object being same, each person, there are three types of responses. Each person has got different response. Somebody likes, somebody don't like, somebody is neutral. The object being same, there are three responses. So therefore, if you are attracted to a Vishaya, then that becomes a source of Bandha. So therefore, dosha drishtya, that Vishaya cannot lead to fulfillment. Therefore, Vishayebhyaha virajya, it's important. That is what Vairagya is. Vishayebhyaha virajya, viragaha. Vishayebhyaha virajya, karmabhyaha sam uparitavyam iti etat bodhitam. From karmabhyaha panchami vibhakti. From karma, uparitavyam should be withdrawn. Because karma can give parichinna purushartha palam, dharma, artha, kama, natu moksha. Mokshaya jnanam apekshate. Jnana yogyata apekshate jnanaya. And therefore, Vishayebhyaha virajya karmabhyaha uparamanam, withdrawing. Iti bodhitam. Iti sopana panchake acharyana bodhitam. Taduktam moksha dharmeshu. Moksha dharmeshu taduktam in Mahabharata Shanti Parva uktam. Naitadrisham brahmanasyasti vittam yati kata samatha satyata cha sheelam satir danda nidhanam arjavam tatas choparatihi kriyabhyaha. So moksha dharma is there in Mahabharata where it is told. Na etadrisham brahmanasyasti vittam. There is vittam means wealth. Vittakoshaha means bank. Vittam. Brahmanasya etadrisham vrittam na. For a Brahmana, there is no wealth like this. What? Yata, ekata, samata, satyata, all the values mentioned here. Ekata. Say, ekata is oneness, the status of being one. Ekata. Samata, samattam yoga uchyate. So ekata we can say ekaparatvam, commitment, ekatvam, only one thing. Samata is samatvam. The person enjoys equanimity, equanimity towards things, looks upon everything equally. Equally means not that he doesn't know the difference. He has an attitude of impartiality. Then satyata, truthfulness. Sheelam, conduct is important. Stitihi, sthirartvam, being steady. Danda, nidhanam, withdrawing from any actions which are harmful. It means ahimsa iti. Ahimsa, then arjavam, straightforwardness. Rijubhavam, arjavam. Tatascha, uparatihi. Uparatihi is withdrawal. From what? Kriyabhyaha, karmabhyaha. Iti moksha dharmeshu uktam. The moksha dharma, it is said, Mahabharata. So kriyabhyaha, therefore you have to come to jnanam. That is the meaning. Therefore, Vaidika dharma bharga paratat, tasmat paraha parat kim, tasmat param vidvatvam. Then the next one is vidvatvam asmat param. Vaidika dharma marga is parata, durlabha. Tasmat param kim vidvatvam. Now vidvatvam, what is vidvatvam? Vidvatvam we have seen. That is, there only starts the Brahma Jigna. That is Brahma Jigyasa. Brahma Jigyasa ityukte, that is pravritti into the study of the Shastra. Now, this Vidvatvam, here Acharya he explains. It's a nice way of explaining here, Vidvatvam. The Vidvatvam can be connected to Pravritti Dharma and Nivritti Dharma. We explain the Vidvatvam as Nivritti Dharma. That's what we are going to see. In fact, that is what the meaning we gave. Vidvatvam is Vedanta Shravanam is called Vidvatvam. Vidvatvam is studying Vedanta. Viprata is studying the Veda in general. Vidvatvam is pursuit of Vedanta. understanding, Shravanam, listening, and understanding the Vedanta Vishaya. That is Vidvatvam, the status of being the knower of the Tattvam of the Vedanta, Vidvatvam. Now, that also, that is what the meaning we give. But here, our Acharya says, Tatra Pravati Dharma Vishaye. We'll see that first he says, this Vidvatvam can be, taking the Vidvatvam to be the status of being the knower, the status of having mastery over, or mastery of, not mastery over, mastery of. That can be connected to Pravati Dharma as well as Nivritti Dharma. Pravati Dharma Vishaye Evam Yojana. This should be connected to Pravati Dharma in this way. Evam. How? Yadeva Vidyaya Karoti Shraddhaya Upanishada Tadeva Viryavattaram Bhavati iti Chandogya Shrutya iti Chando Shrutya. That is Sandhi. Tukkakama Checha. Chakara is optional. You can Chandogya Shrutya. Kriyamanam karma tadangabhuta mantrartha jnana parasaram kriyate chet bhuyase palaya iti bodhitam bhavati. Taduktam tatreva bhashye drishtam hi loke vanik shabarayoho padmaraha mani vikriye vanijaha vijnanadikya paladikam iti Chandogya Upanishad. That is, taking the meaning of the Vidvatvam to be understanding the meaning of the Vedas. Viprata is studying the Shastra. Here the Acharya takes Viprata is studying the Shastra and following it. Viprata, Dharma, Marga Parata. Now the meanings, if you know the meaning, then you have the Vidvatvam. You have the status of the knower of the meaning of the Veda mantras. So now, taking that to be the meaning, in the Chandogya Upanishad it is said, what is said? Yadeva Vidyaya Karoti. Shraddhaya Upanishad Tadeva Viryavattaram Bhavati. Whatever karma the person does with the Shraddha, Veda Vigita karma, if the person knows the meaning of the mantra, then iti Chandogya Shrutya Kriyamanam karma Tadangabhuta mantra Tajnana Parasaram Kriyate Chet. Knowing the meaning of the mantra, if the karma is done, that is more efficacious. Bhuyase palaya bodhitam bhavati. That will be Bhuyase pala. That will give more result, better result. So whatever the karma it is done, and that is done with knowing the meaning of the mantras. So that will be more efficient, efficacious. In Chandogya Upanishad it is said, Kriyamanam karma which is done, Tadanga Bhuta, as a anga, as a part of it, the karma, mantrata jnana parasaram, mantrasya artaha, mantranam artaha, artha jnanam, the knowledge of the meaning of the mantras known, and then if karma is done, then it will give bhuyase palaya bhavati. Bhuyase palaya is a good example for tadartye chaturthi. So we can note in yesterday's class we saw this tadartye chaturthi, bhuyase palaya bhavati, bodhitam bhavati, chaturthi bhakti. It will give better results. Taduktam tatraiva bhashya, the bhashya also, bhashya to Chandogya Upanishad, Acharya has said, what? Drishtam hi loke, in the loka it is seen. That is, it is money. A money is a stone, a precious stone. Vanik Shabara Yoho. Vanik is a merchant. Shabara is a fisherman. Suppose if they get a money, a precious gem, Padmaraga money. It is Padmaraga, precious stone. If they come across, then Vikraye. So Vikraye means it is Kri to buy, Vikri means to sell. So Padmara, with regard to the selling of Padmaraga, precious stone, what Vanija will do? Vanija, the merchant, he has got more knowledge. So therefore, the person knows the value. Therefore, he makes more money. The vanik, the merchant will make more money than the fisherman. What fisherman will do? He doesn't know the value of this. Therefore, he may transact this money for maybe for a bag of fish. But the merchant knows the value of the precious stone. Therefore, Vanijaha Vijnana Adikya, because he has more knowledge, therefore Pala Adikyam, there will be more benefit for the person. Iti Bhashikara in the Bhashyam to this mantra in the Chandogya, he says. The idea is here the meaning of the mantras known and karma is done that give better results. So that is Vidvatvam with regard to Pravritti Dharma. Now, with regard to Nivritti Dharma, what Vidvatvam is, that he says, Nivritti Dharma Vishaye Sanyasya Shravanam Kuryat iti Vidhanat. Sanyasya Shravanam Kuryat, one must listen to the Shastram. Sanyasya, after taking sannyasa. Sannyasat Anantaram Shravanam Kuryat iti Vidhanat. Sannyasa Uttara, after taking Sannyasa Uttara Kalika, Vedanta Vakya Shravanajanya Parokshatta Jnanatvam Vidvatvam. This is the definition of Vidvatvam, connecting Vidvatvam to Nivritti Dharma. That is Sannyasa Uttara Kalika. After the Sannyasa, taking Sannyasa, Vedanta is Acharya takes Vidvattam to be Vividisha Sannyasa. Vividisha Sannyasa, not Vidvat Sannyasa. After up to this previous level, the person was a Grihastha, following a Dharma. He knows the knowledge, he has got the knowledge of the Vedas, knowledge of the Veda mantras, and observe Dharma. That is Grihastha Dharma. So in Grihastha Dharma, he has qualified himself. Now he wants to know or wants to gain that, gaining which everything is gained. There is nothing to be gained. Gaining which the Sukham, Parama Purushartha is gained. Therefore, he wanted that, like Yajnavalkya. He knows. Yajnavalkya is an example for Vidvat Sannyasa. Unlike this Sannyasa, Yajnavalkya knows and the Tattvam, but he wanted to dedicate himself to a lifestyle of contemplation, completely wants to immerse in Nidhyasanam, Nishtha, therefore he took sannyasa. That is Vidvat sannyasa. But here, this person having qualified himself in the Grastha Ashrama very well, now the person goes to the next stage, which is sannyasa. Therefore, for Shravanam, for Jnanam, Shravanam, listening to the Vedanta Vakya, for that the person takes to sannyasa. He dedicates himself the lifestyle of sannyasa only for Shravanam. That is called Vidvatvam. He says Acharya here. Sannyasa Uttaragalika Vedanta Vakya Shravanajanya Paroksha Jnanatvam. Paroksha Jnanam. Brahma Asti iti Jnanam. Jagat Karanam Brahma Asti Ishvara Asti iti Jnanam. That is Paroksha Jnanam. Paroksha Jnanam is the knowledge which is not direct. That is, the knowledge is the Paroksha Jnanam. Akshnaha Paraha Parokshaha. So Akshnaha Paraha Parokshaha Paroksha Jnanam. Brahma Asti iti Jnanam. That Brahma Aham Asmi iti, that is Aparoksha Jnanam. Shastra says Brahma Asti Ishvara Asti. So the knowledge that Ishvara is there, that is born because of Shravanam of the Vakyas of the Vedanta, and that the person receives from the Guru in the Gurukula after taking sannyasa, ashrutra kalika. That is called Vidvatvam. So Vidvatvam is listening to the words of the Shastra as taught by the teacher. It's not a teacher and all, but we need to understand Sampradaya with it. That is called Vidvatvam. This is how it is connected to the Vidvatvam, connected to Nivritti Dharma. Then Asmat Param, compared to this, there is Param. What is that? Asmat Param Atmanatma Vivechanam. Vivechanam Vivekah, Atma Anatma Vivekah. Idam grante eva uttaratra spashtaishyate. Spashtaishyate is Navadat. That is explained very well later in this grantha itself. Therefore, Acharya doesn't take time, effort to explain that here. Tena mananam yuktibihi shutartha dridhikarnar tam anuchintanam anuchintana rupam samshaya bhavana nirasakamuktam bhavati. Atmanatma vechanam is mananam. Vidvattam stands for Shravanam. That is why we said Vidvattam stands for Shravanam. Then Atmanatma vechanam is for Mananam. By Mananam, by Yuktibihi, by reasoning. So Mananam is to convince ourselves all the doubts pertaining to the knowledge, the knowledge which the person has received from the Shastra, from the Guru, that the person by Yukti, by reason. You have to reason it out. So because the firm conviction the Shastra is required, that is by Shruti, Yukti, Anubhava. Shruti, that is Shravanam. Then Yukti by reasoning. That is why we have Brahma Sutra, Nyaya Grantha. By Yukti, that Jnanam becomes doubt-free, Apratibadda Jnanam. That is Jnanam. Pratibadda Jnanam is Bandhayetuhu. Apratibadda Jnanam eva Jnanam Mokshayetuhu. The Jnanam should be doubt-free, should be free from vagueness, should be free from doubt, clear, clarity, no doubt. That in fact, that is what the knowledge, not only here, any knowledge for that matter. Samskrita Jnanam also like that. What's in the, cannot be ambiguous. So this is or that. No. Clear knowledge, clarity. Shrutartha Dridhikaranartha. Shrutartha, whatever has been listened to, that make it very dridha, strong, unflinching, to make it very strong, no doubt. Anuchintana Rupam, meditating on that. Samshaya Bhava Nirasakavuktam. Samshaya Bhava, all doubts, wrong understandings, all these are all these that one should get rid of. That is by Maranam. And it is done by proper Yukti. Shruti Sammata Tarkona Sindhiyata, Acharya says in Sopana Panchakam. By the Tarka, by the logic, in keeping with the Shastra, not Shushka Tarka, Shastra, Anukula Tarka, Shastra, Shrutimata Tarka. Because our mind requires logic, we have to get convinced. So therefore, we take the Tarka, the logic, in keeping with the Shastra. By that, all the doubts, vagueness are removed with regard to what we have listened to. Then Tataha, Svanubhavaha. Compared to that is greater is Swa Anubhavaha, Swasya Anubhavaha. That is Anubhuti. Shruti, Yukti, Anubhuti. Anubhuti, Atma Anubhuti, Aparoksha Anubhuti. Now that Brahma Asti becomes that Brahma Ahamasmi Eva Iti. That is by Nididhyasana. Nididhyasana Purvaka Brahma Sakshatkaraha Katitaha Bhavati. Svanubhava is Brahma Sakshatkaram. Brahma Sakshatkaraha Nididhyasana Purvaka. The Brahma Sakshatkaram. Brahma Sakshatkara is Brahma is evident. You understand Brahma. You understand Ishvara. Knowing Brahma. That is preceded by Nididhyasanam. So Nididhyasanam is contemplation on the teaching of the Shastram, the teaching of the Vedanta Upanishad, and contemplation leads to the Nididhyasanam, which is Dhyanam, which is what discusses the 6th chapter of the Gita elaborately. That leads to Nishtha. So Svanubhavaha. So doubts are cleared in Mananam. So the person has got Jnanam. Then Jnanam, meditating on that, Aham Atma Brahma, all the words which are there in the 2nd chapter of the Gita, starting from 11th shloka up to the 38th shloka. It's a good place. The shlokas are meant for Mananam. Nididhyasanam. Atmana Jayate. Atmana Jayate means I am not born. I am not born, I don't die. I don't come and go. I am there forever. Anashinaha aprameyaha iti अच्छेद्ययम् अदाग्ययम् अक्लेद्यम् अशोष्येव च अव्ययः aham nityah stanuhu acholoyam sanatanah. All these words are descriptions of me. That is nididhyasanam. So therefore katitaha bhavati ataha eva swa anubhava iti uktam. Viparita bhavana nivartaka nididhyasana bhave shravanamananabhyam jayaman anubhava saushtavam na ashrute iti. So viparita bhavana is opposite or wrong understanding. Nivartaka removes by what? By nididhyasanam. So if nididhyasanam is not done, then the viparita bhavana, the habitual orientation is there, whatever the orientation before. Aham jivaha, aham samsari, I'm subject to all this shadbhava vikara because abhimana with the sharyam, all these will not go. All these are there because of anadi vasanaya, it is there. The dega abhimana, sharimana sangata abhimana. How will this will go? These are all to be counteracted by nididhyasanam. The teaching has to become yourself. So that is done by nididhyasanam. So when nididhyasanam is not done, then Shravana Mananabhyam Jayamanaha Anubhavaha, what is gained through Shravana Mananam, that will not become Saushtavam na Ashnute. By that, Shravana and Manana, whatever you have gained, that will not become clear. You will not gain the benefit of it. Na Ashnute, you don't reap the benefit of that. Therefore, Nididhyasanam is important. Nididhyasanam should be done. Then, having said that, Etena, now here a separate topic is started by Acharya. Etena Shubhecha Vicharana Tanumanasa Sattvapatischa iti Jnana Bhumika Chatushtayam Katitam Asid Asamsaktihi Padartha Bhavana Turyagacha Paramatmana Samstitihi Muktihi iti atra Samsita Shabdena Vasanakshaya Manonasha Saha Krita Swanubhava Bodhakena Venjitaha. Acharya has said just in one word, Shubha Icha Vicharana Tanumanasa Sattvapattihi iti Jnana Bhumika Chatushtayam. In fact, we have Jnana Bhumika Chatushtayam, that is 4 plus Asamsaktihi, then we have Padartha Bhavana Turyaka. So 4 plus 3, 7. These are called Sapta Bhumika. Important topic discussed in Jivan Mukti Viveka. Of course, in Yoga Vasishta it is discussed, and Jivan Mukti Viveka also it is discussed by Vidyananda Muni. So Sapta Bhumika is called 7 spiritual stages in the life of a sadhaka. So it's a separate topic, in fact, but I will try to explain in simple words. Today is not possible, but it requires. So some explanation. Bhumika meaning stage, level. Sapta Bhumika means 7 spiritual stages, level. 7 stages of spiritual unfoldment. So we have a shloka which says that 7 stages. Shloka is not quoted here. It's not given. Jnana Bhumi Shubhechakya Pratama Samudahrata Vicharana Dvitiya Sya Tritiya Tanumanasa Sattvapattis Chaturthi Syat Tato Samsakti Namika Padartha bhavini shashti saptami turyagha smrta iti ekah shlokah vartate putra lagu vasishta. 13th chapter, that shloka is the Shubha Icha, Shubha Icha, that is the beginning stage of a spiritual sadhaka. That is also explained what is Shubha Icha. Like a simple meaning, maybe next class we can see a little more elaborately. A firm resolve, that is, I want this, I want to pursue jnanam. It is Shubha Icha. Shubha is auspicious, Icha desire. Moksha Icha, Shubha Icha. Moksha me bhuyat. That is Icha. Desire for moksha, mumukshutvam. That is the first stage. Then only you start, your spiritual life starts. Till then you are religious. So therefore, at that stage, Shubha Icha stage, the person is a seeker, sadhaka. Then starts Vicharana. Vicharana is inquiry. Inquiry in the form of Shravanam and Mananam. Then there also the person is a sadhaka, pursuing jnanam. Then Tanu Manasa. Tanu means thinning of the mind. How does the mind becomes thin? That is by giving up this Abhimana with the Shriya Manasangata Anatma, in fact. That is by Nididhyasanam, therefore Dhyanam. So the person tries to make the teaching very clear for oneself, assimilating the teaching. Tanumanasa, that is Nididhyasana. By Nididhyasana, the person, by continuous, gains Nishtha, leads to Savikalpa Samadhi. There also the person is a sadhaka only, because practitioner of Nididhyasana. Then Sattvapattihi, Sattvapattihi, Sattvapattihi is there the person experiences Nirvikalpa Samadhi. There is no Vikalpa, Jnatru, Jnanam, Jnatru, Jnanam, then Jnata iti, that there is no Veda. That is Nirvikalpa Samadhi. There the person becomes Brahmavit. Then Asamsaktihi, there the person, having gone to Nirvikalpa Samadhi, the person wakes up by himself. That person is called Brahmavit Varaha. Then Padartha Bhavana is the person, he wakes up from Nirvikalpa Samadhi only when there are people around, wakes him up. Others have to wake him up. Otherwise, he cannot wake up from Nirvikalpa Samadhi. So there are many instances like that. Yogis, they will have Shishyas around. When the Guru enters Nirvikalpa Samadhi, they wake him up and they take food to his mouth, make him eat, make him smell, make him eat. Then they come to body consciousness. It's called Brahmavit Variyan. That is, the person is. Then finally is Turyaka is the person having gone to Samadhi, he never wakes up. Brahmavit Varishta. So the first three stages, the person is a sadhaka. Then he becomes Brahmavit Vara, Brahmavit Variyan, Brahmavit Varishta iti. There are different stages. This is only stages. It has nothing to do with in terms of the jnanam gained by the person. This is only in terms of the avastha, the stages. The jnana avastha, it is jnana anubhava avastha, not jnana avastha. Jnanam is same. In terms of jnanam, there is no difference between Brahmavit, Brahmavit Varyan, Brahmavit Vara, Brahmavit Varishta. In terms of jnanam, there is no difference. Shankaracharya, what category? We cannot say what category. He has got jnanam, can we say is because he has not immersed himself in deep samadhi, therefore he is low category, we cannot say, because his karma is like that. He had come for a mission, therefore he traveled all over Bharat and defeated many people, established Sanatana Dharma. So at Jnanam, at the level of Jnanam, there is no different among the people. But in terms of the jnana anubhava avastha, in terms of samadhi, some people enter into samadhi, wakes up of their own. Some people to be waken up by others. Some people they never wake up. They go into samadhi forever. So these are all different samadhi avastha. So in terms of that, there it says 7 spiritual stages. That Acharya, by the words, refer to that. We will see. We'll talk about this more in the next class. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om. Dhanyavadaha. I didn't throw Lalit Kumarji out. You think left and then joined.
No, there was some internet problem, Sharanjit, at my end.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದ
Dhanyavadaha.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದ ಶರಣಜಿ
ಧನ್ಯವಾದ ಶರಂಜಿ ಧನ್ಯವಾದ
ಧನ್ಯವಾದ.
Dhanyavadaha.